Vyasa Savitri, the original Savitri from Mahabharata, translated by R.Y. Deshpande. King Ashwapati is receiving a boon from goddess Savitri, the birth of a daughter to him, named Savitri, and a sojourn in different countries in search of a husband. Yudhishthir said, "Neither for myself nor for my brothers do I grieve, O great sage, not even for being deprived of the kingdom, as much do I for the daughter of Drupad. The evil souled had put us to shame in the game of dice, but she, the sister of Krishna, had come there to our rescue. And then again, in this forest, Jayadratha took her away forcefully. Did you ever in the past meet or did you hear of any woman devoted to her husband and highly virtuous, such a one, and in such a manner as the daughter of Drupad?" Markandeya said, "Listen, O King Yudhishthir, the most precious fortune which the women of noble upbringing desire and cherish, that is what Princess Savitri wants for them all. Long ago in Mathura, there reigned a saintly king, devout and a follower of the Dharma. He lived in the pious company of the Brahmins and one of the great virtuous, and he was united with the truth and had conquered the senses. Performer of yajanas, presiding over charities, skillful in work, loved by the city dwellers and by all people of his kingdom, one who was absorbed in the welfare of everybody, there ruled the sovereign of the earth, named Ashwapati. Of a forgiving nature, one whose speech was truth, and who had subdued the senses, though he was so, he had no issue. With the advancing of age, this increased his affliction greatly. Therefore he resorted, with the concern of getting a child, to holy austere practices. Only at fixed times he ate a little, and he observed continence and restrained the senses fully. Daily 100,000 oblations he, the most excellent among the kings, offered to Savitri, and it was only in the sixth part of the day that he took a small quantity of food. 18 years passed this way, he being given to observances of such rules of penance. At the end of the 18-year period, Savitri was much pleased with him. Then, O Yudhishthir, rising from the sacrificial flames in her splendid form, she appeared in front of the king, exceedingly glad as she was, and she, the giver of the boons, spoke this way the word of benediction to the sovereign of the earth, Savitri, to King Ashwapati, established in regular practices. Savitri said, "O King Sovereign, I am immensely pleased by your purity and chastity, by your abstinence and self-restraint, the observance of the rules of austerity, and all the heart with which you worship me in devotion. O Ashwapati, ruler of Mathura, ask what you desire, the boon. Falter not in any way in performance of the duties of the Dharma." Ashwapati said, "O goddess, it was with the intention of begetting children for performing religious rites that I had initiated this holy sacrifice, granted several sons, that the line of my ancestors may grow. If so, pleased thou art, O goddess, I ask for this one boon, that I entreat of thee, the twice born, the wise of the world. Tell me that the proper begetting of progeny is a great dharma." Savitri said, "Fully aware of this intention of yours, O king, did I speak long before to the great. Father, Fully aware of this intention of yours, O king, did I speak long before to the great Father, God the Creator Himself, to grant a child to you. And as ordained by the self-born Brahma, indeed by his gracious favor, soon you will have on earth an effulgent daughter, O gentle-natured. You should not in the least utter anything or argue against it. It is as bestowed by Father Creator that I tell it so, pleased that I am with you. Markandeya said, the king, consenting, acknowledged gratefully what Savitri promised him. He further implored her for the gracious favor to be fulfilled soon in the near future. Then, even as Savitri withdrew from sight, the valiant king returned to his capital and, attending to his duties towards people, ruled over the kingdom in conduct of the Dharma. The king, who was ever fixed in vows of righteousness, in the course of time established his seed in the womb of his eldest queen, the companion in the path of Dharma. O Yudhishthir, she who conceived was a princess hailing from Malava. In her the fetus grew, as does in the sky the Lord of the stars in the bright half of the month. In fullness of time she gave birth to a lovely girl, lotus-eyed in look, happy about it. The noblest king duly performed all the rituals for the newly arrived, given as she was by Savitri, who was pleased by Savitri oblations. The father and the wise ones named her too Savitri. The princess grew like the goddess Fortune herself incarnate, fair and beautiful. Then, in course of time, she entered into youthful maidenhood. With large hips and a slender waist, graceful as she was, like a golden statue, people beholding her believed that some heavenly damsel had descended amidst them. Her eyes were like full-blown lotuses, and she seemed in her beauty to be flaming with splendor. Indeed, warded off by that fiery brilliance, no one approached her asking for her hand. Once, on a festive ceremonial day, she fasted and then took a holy bath from over her head, and thereafter went to worship the god. There, with the chanting of the hymns of benediction by the wise ones, she offered ritual oblations to Agni. Then, accepting the remains of offerings for the great souled one, well pleased she, who looked graceful like the goddess Lakshmi herself incarnate, went to her father. First giving the prasad to her father, she touched his feet in obeisance. Then that beautiful maid stood with her hands folded close by the side of the king. Seeing his daughter grown up and in full youth, and heavenly and effulgent in form, the king was very much distressed that none had yet come for her as a suitor. The king said, O virgin, the time that you should be given in marriage has arrived, but no one has approached me so far, asking for your hand. Hence, you should make the choice of a husband, one endowed with qualities befitting you. Tell me then of him whom you would come choose, and after giving due considerations to it, I shall make the marriage proposal. Choose him whom you would acceptably desire. What I have heard from the twice born, well versed reciting the sacred scriptures, of that I am speaking to you. You should also hearken to these words, O good auspicious. One who does not give his daughter in marriage when of right age, such a father is to be reproached. A husband who does not have relation with his wife in the period favorable for conception becomes blameworthy. The son who does not take care of his widowed mother should also be considered censurable. Listen to what I have said, and make speed abroad in search of a husband. Do such this deed, that by the gods I may not put to blame. Markandeya said, having thus spoken to his daughter, he then commanded his elderly ministers to make necessary preparations for the journey and to proceed forthwith along her. Blushing somewhat, the high-minded daughter bowed at her father's feet, and, without a further thought, taking his words as an order, set out at once. Riding her golden chariot, and accompanied by the elderly counsellors, she travelled through several lovely woods of penance of the loyal sages. O Yudhishthir, they're offering her respects to the venerable aged persons. By touching their feet, from forest to forest she went, journeying along, thus giving away great wealth in all the places of pilgrimage. Did the princess visit several distant lands and kingdoms inhabited by the most excellent wise persons.